Hello and welcome to part 4 of Microsoft Excel course for beginners. In part 3 we have discussed how to enter data and formulas in a spreadsheet, plus we have also talked about the editing and removing of data from the spreadsheet. In this part, that is part 4, we will learn about formulas, the mathematical operators which can be applied on the formulas. We will also talk about the two variation of formulas, the basic formula and the compound formula, and built-in functions. We will also see with the help of an example how to use the commonly used functions, built-in functions on our Excel data. Here I have a workbook where I have already entered some data. Over here we have the months and the sales corresponding to each of these months. In part 3 I have already told you what is a formula. That is, it's an expression that includes numbers, cell addresses, maybe operators and parentheses, and we perform calculations on the data which is present on in our Excel cells, and we use those data in our formulas for the purpose of some kind of calculation. Now, operators or the arithmetic operators like plus, minus, multiply, divide, exponentials, your power symbols, all those operators can be used in Excel also. These are the basic operators. There are n number of operators available which you can use in the formulas. Now, I've already told you how to enter a basic formula. Just make a cell active. For example, I have some sales data over here. I want to calculate the total of sales. I have to make this particular cell active wherever I want the formula and start typing the formula. My formula, as if you remember, the formula always begins with an equal to sign followed by opening parenthesis, then your cell address or the numbers. If you are directly entering the numbers, you can type in the numbers. Over here we will use cell address. So the example which I have taken over here, we will talk about basic formulas. Now, in your basic formula, when we are using basic formula, only one type of operator, only one type of arithmetic operator is being used. For example, here we are trying to calculate the sum, so we are using only the plus operator. Say for example, my data is in cell D3, I am typing plus, then D4, I can simply click, it will appear, or I can type also D5 plus D6, close the parenthesis and press the enter key. So you get the sum or the total over here. And if you look at the formula bar here, you can see I have used only the plus operator or the plus sign. Where we are using only one type of operator, that is a basic formula. Let us talk about compound formulas now. Here I have another example where we have some items, unit price or per unit price of each of these items, the units which have been ordered, there will be some delivery charges for delivering these items, discount, and we will try to calculate the final price. So when we talk about compound formulas, in compound formulas, we make use of more than one operator. In the previous example, only plus operator was being used. Over here, we will make use of more than one operator. As you already know, for calculating the final price, if I want to calculate the price, if unit price is 5 rupees and the number of units which have been ordered, the formula will be unit price into ordered unit. Plus, if there are any delivery charges, we will add the delivery charges. If the person is giving any discount, it will be deducted from the amount which we get. So if we say that delivery charge, let's enter some data over here. Delivery charge for this is 5 rupees, for this is 10 rupees, for eraser it is 3 rupees, For ruler it is 20 rupees. Let's quickly enter in some data, the discounts also. Let's calculate the final price over here. So let's begin typing in the formula. Equal to sign, opening parenthesis, my unit price for pencil is this, unit price, the symbol multiplied by the ordered unit, close the parenthesis. I know it is 25. We have to add the delivery charges plus the delivery charges in cell number E3. You can type in E3 or you can simply click on that particular cell, it will appear. Let's deduct the discount also. We'll come to discount also. Let's see what we get if we press the enter key. So here what we got is 5 into 5, 25 plus the delivery charges, that is 30 rupees, and the formula is appearing in the formula bar. Similarly, we can calculate the price for pencil also, eraser and ruler also. Let's talk about discount. So if you look over here at the formula, we have two operators, the multiplication operator and the plus operator. So this is an example of a compound formula where we are making use of more than one operator. If I want to include discount also, I have to deduct it from my formula from the amount which I am getting. So let's modify this formula. Let me click over here and I want to minus the discount amount. The discount is in F3, and to balance the parenthesis, let's place one parenthesis over here as per the rules of arithmetic so that we get the correct answer, and press the enter key. You can see over here 5 into 5, 25 plus 5 rupees delivery charges, that is 30 rupees, minus 2, that is 28. The same can be calculated for these as well. Let's talk about functions. But before we move to functions, let us talk about cell range. Before we talk about function, let's talk about cell range. A range refers to a series of values between two other values. That is, we have a starting value, we have an ending value, and in between those values we have certain numbers. Together they form a range. Now there are two kinds of range in Excel. We have column range and we have row range. Now what is a column range? If I select from here till this cell, so this is my column range. So always keep in mind, in your column range, the column heading remains the same and the row number changes. I have made a selection over here. My column is C and the row numbers are changing from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 till 8. So this is an example of a column range. If we talk about row ranges, if I select from here till here, this is an example of a row range where the row number remains the same but the column heading change. For example, in this row range we have B3, C3, D3 and E3. Row number is same and the column headings are changing. We make use of ranges in our formulas in our function. We will see one more example of a function where we will make use of cell range. We have one more example over here which we will make use of to understand what are functions and how to use the built-in functions available in Excel. Functions are pre-designed formulas to perform simple and complex calculations. Now, earlier we were making use of the formulas, we were giving the operators, we were defining the cell contents, cell addresses on our own. that was our choice, which cells we wanted to include. Here in Excel, there are certain inbuilt functions available which make our task easier. What we have to do is we have to simply make use of those functions, supply the values to those functions, and we will get the answers. Now, our function, the functions which we type here in Excel, they will accept some arguments or values. So let us see what is the structure of a function. Whenever, like formulas, here also function will start with an equal to sign followed by the name of the function, that is your function name. You will write the exact name of the function over here. This is just for an example. Opening parenthesis, you will type in the arguments, that is the values which you want to supply to your function, comma, if you have another value, let's say this is argument number 1, you want to supply the argument 2 or the value 2, you can separate them with the help of a comma, and so on. Other than arguments, argument can be your single cell address, it can be values, or it can be a cell range. Once you are done supplying the arguments, you have to close the parenthesis. Your function is ready. Press the enter key. So this is the structure of entering a function. Same goes with the function rules. The rules of entering a function, you have to begin it with an equal to sign followed by a valid function name, maybe your sum, average, maximum, minimum, whatever you are using. Then you should have the opening and the closing parenthesis, and inside those opening and closing parenthesis there should be some argument on which the calculation will be done. Let us take the first function, that is the sum function. Say for example, I want to calculate the total number of units which have been ordered. Say that is the sum of all the ordered unit. One method is I can type in equal to sign over here. I can use the basic formula D3, D plus D4, D5 plus D6 plus D7 plus D8. That is the simplest form, or I can use the inbuilt sum function. So my function or the formula is bringing with a equal to sign followed by the name of the function, that is sum, opening parenthesis, and I have to supply the cell addresses where the values are present, starting from starting from D3 going up to D8. Now you can place them by separating them by commas. Say this comma, next one comma, you can also type in, you can click any way which you want, both are correct. Up to D8, close the parenthesis and press the enter key. You got the total over here. Another method, in this particular method we have supplied each of these arguments separated by comma. Second method is by using the cell range. Let's see the cell range also. Equal to sum, and I told you we can make use of column range and we can also make use of row ranges. Here we want the column, so starting from this particular column D3 going up to D8, you simply have to click and drag all these things, start from the first one to the last one. And if you look at the formula bar over here, you can see starting cell address is D3 and the last cell address which we want to include in our formula is D8, and they are separated by a colon sign. That means it is a range of cells which we are trying to make use in our formula. Close the parenthesis and press the enter key. You got the same answer over here, making use of each of these separate cell addresses, and in this one, in this sum function, we have made use of a cell range. Let's discuss the second max function. We have a max function which helps us to find the maximum from a given cells. Say I want to calculate the maximum over here. I want to find out which particular item which has been ordered over here has the maximum ordered unit. Say if I say equal to sign max opening parenthesis, again you can type them separately, or you can simply click and drag and select the cell range. You can also type the cell range. Say for example I type over here D3 colon D8, both the ways are correct. Close the parenthesis and press the enter key. Now if you look over here, the maximum unit which has been ordered, it's for colors, so we should get the answer 20. Press the enter key, you got the answer as 20. So from the given range of cell, it will find the maximum quantity and will place it in the cell. Next method which we will talk about is minimum function. Minimum function, as its name suggests, it will find the minimum value from a given range of values. Let's start typing the function over here. Equal to min. The moment you start typing, Excel also gives you a suggestion. It will show you all the available functions starting from the first character which you have typed. If you want, you can choose from there also, from the list which has been provided. Opening parenthesis, my range D3 to D8, and close the parenthesis and press the enter key. Now you can see over here pen, this item pen, the minimum quantity that has been ordered is 2 from all the items which are available. Next function which I will be discussing is count function. Now take for example, anytime you have some data on your Excel sheet and you want to calculate the total number of items which are present in your Excel sheet, then you can make use of the count function. It will count the items one at a time and will give you the result. Now it is not the same as sum. In sum you get the total of all the number of or total of all the values which are present inside the cell. Here you will only get the count of those cells in as your answer. Let's see, if I say count over here equal to count opening parenthesis, I give this range and close the parenthesis and press, you get a count 6. We have only 6 items in this particular cell range which we have. Keep in mind, count works only for those cells where you have numeric data. It will not work for those data where you have text as an entry. Now let us calculate the average. There's one function known as average function which will automatically calculate the sum, and then from the total number of items which are present, it will divide by those total number of items and give you the result in the cell where you have written the function. So if we want to calculate the sum of this particular column where ordered units have been entered, so the sum is 52. It should be divided, number of items which are here is 6, so it should be divided by 6 and we should get the answer. Let's see how this works. Equal to average, I want to make use of this function average. Average opening parenthesis, this is my cell range, close it and press the enter key. You got the average as this. Let us check using the simple calculation. Equal to, this is my sum 52 divided by the number of items, it is 6, divided by 6 and press the enter key. You got the same result. So your average function, it simply does the sum and divides by the total number of items which are present. So in this part. In part 4, we have discussed what are formulas, what are basic formulas. We have taken an example of a basic formula where only one operator is being used. We did see, or we did talk about compound formulas where more than one operator was being used. I also explained what is a cell range. We made use of column range in our example. Plus we did talk about the built-in functions of Excel, and all these functions over here: sum, max, min, count and average. I would like you to go through these examples once again, try them out on your own, making use of the formulas and the functions which we have discussed over here. In part 5, we will talk about formatting the spreadsheet data. Thank you.